In 2023, a team of archaeologists in southeastern Turkey lifted a slab of stone that hadn't been touched in 11,000 years. And underneath it, they found a face. Not a symbol. Not an animal. An actual human face, carved into solid rock, staring back at them from a time before cities, before writing, before almost anything we call civilization existed. This is Karahan Tepe. And it might be the most important archaeological discovery you've never heard of. Just 23 miles from Göbekli Tepe, the site we explored last time, Karahan Tepe was first noticed by archaeologists back in 1997. But for over 2 decades, it sat mostly untouched. Serious excavation only began in 2019, and what they found next would rival, and in some ways surpass, its famous neighbor. Like Gobekli Tepe, Karahan Tepe is covered in massive T-shaped stone pillars. Over 250 of them arranged in circular rooms carved partly into the bedrock itself. But here's where it gets strange. Some of these pillars don't just represent people symbolically. In 2025, archaeologists lifted one of these stones to its original standing position, and for the first time ever, found one with an actual carved human face. A prominent nose, deep-set eyes, a sharp jawline staring out from a pillar over 4 feet tall. It was the first clear evidence that these ancient stone pillars weren't just abstract shapes. They were meant to be us. But the face wasn't even the most shocking find. 2 years earlier, in September 2023, a completely different discovery had already stunned the archaeological world. Deep inside a newly opened chamber, researchers uncovered a massive human statue, over 7.5 feet tall, seated on a carved stone bench. It's considered one of the most lifelike and one of the oldest human sculptures ever found on Earth, dating back roughly 11,400 years. Beside it sat a second statue, a vulture, its wings wrapped forward, carved with startling detail, positioned near a large circular stone with a hole cut through its center. Researchers are still investigating whether this arrangement relates to ancient sky burial rituals, where the dead may have been offered to birds of prey as part of a spiritual passage. And here's the detail that made headlines around the world. The human statue was carved holding what researchers describe as a fertility symbol against his own body. A detail archaeologists believe points to fertility, ancestry, and rebirth as central themes in this culture. Similar figures have been found at other sites nearby, suggesting this wasn't a one-off carving, but a deliberate, recurring symbol in how these people understood life, death, and creation. So what was Karahan Tepe actually for? Unlike Göbekli Tepe, which shows almost no signs of permanent living, Karahan Tepe seems to have been both a ritual center and a real settlement. A place where people didn't just gather to build and worship, but where they may have actually lived. That single difference could reshape the entire timeline of how humans transitioned from wandering hunter-gatherers to settled societies. Karahan Tepe isn't alone either. It's just one site in a growing network of roughly 12 related locations across the region, now called Taş Tepeler, the Stone Hills. Each one is revealing its own statues, its own carvings, its own pieces of a culture we didn't even know existed a generation ago. And remember, at Karahan Tepe, like Göbekli Tepe, only about 5% of the site has been excavated so far. 95% of it is still buried beneath the hill, untouched, unseen, waiting. If a carved human face could stay hidden under solid rock for 11,000 years, what else is still down there? Subscribe, because every time archaeologists dig a little deeper into this region, the story of who we are keeps changing.